It's a big night of high school sports in our community. The News 8 Highlight Zone starts now.
Good evening. I'm Greg Wavernick. Brian McClune is in Milwaukee covering the Brewers, and we'll hear from him in a little bit later on. As disappointing last week's loss on a Hail Mary was, Onalaska still enters tonight, still in control of their own fate when it comes to the 2018 MVC Championship. Tough test as they host West Salem. Both teams 4-1 in conference play. Second half action here. Anna's up 14-0. West Salem trying to respond, but David Luck jumps the swing route and takes it to the house. West Salem now down 3 scores. Brendan Holt would change that as he rumbles and bumbles into the end zone. Later in the third quarter, it's Holt again scoring for West Salem. Panthers now only down by 1 score. Then this, 4.1 seconds to go. West Salem drives the length of the field, and Joe Wolpat finds Trenton Foreman for the score. Panthers down 1. They would go for 2. Bobbled snap, and Onalaska holds on to win. Final score, 21-20. Holman can clinch no worse than a share of this year's MVC title with a win tonight at Sparta. Third quarter action here as Holman tries to punch it in, but they lose the ball on the exchange. Sparta gets the huge goal line stop. Moving to the fourth, Sparta QB Cole Wisniewski gets outside and almost finds the end zone as momentum begins to shift for Sparta. A couple plays later, the throw and a beautiful fade, which is caught by hitting guns in the back of the end zone. Sparta up 21-6. A shocker in Sparta as they win 28-6. Onalaska at Holman next week, the winner, outright MVC champion. Central needing one more win in these final 2 weeks to guarantee a playoff spot tonight, hosting Toma. First score of the game goes to Central. Johnny Davis on the handoff. It doesn't take long for Central to strike again. Second offensive play for Toma results in a pick 6 for Quinton Trusoni. But Toma would respond. Very first play of the second drive goes for a 65-yard score. Toma misses the point after. Minutes later, Central drives the length of the field again with Johnny Davis scoring his second rushing TD of the game. He'd also throw for 328 yards through the air along with 3 TDs. Central secures their spot in the postseason, winning 47-12. With football only conference realignment coming next year, this could be the final city meeting for Aquinas. They're on the road at Logan. After a missed field goal by Logan, Aquinas takes a shot on their very first play. But Logan's Ben Fowler intercepts the long pass. Logan would force yet another turnover, leading to this. Damon Butler would bounce this one all the way to the edge for the first score of this game. Later in the first quarter, it's Calvin Maven putting jukes on everyone, switching directions and scoring to put the Rangers up by 2 scores. And Logan picks up the victory tonight, 35-8. Let's move over to the Cooley Conference. Viroqua hosting GET. Winner guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Loser faces a must-win game next week in order to make the postseason. Third quarter, GET's up by 20. Viroqua fakes the punt, but the pass knocked down by Peyton Wood. Redhawks get the ball. A few plays later on fourth down, it's Bryce Burns getting the ball on the counter, and he gets it to the outside, dives for the pylon. He's marked out at the 1. Quarterback Sawyer Schmidt says, "I'll take it myself from there." Sneaks his way into the end zone. Redhawks go up 40-12. And GT a winner going to the playoffs, 40-20. Westby can clinch at least a share of the Cooley Championship with a win at Luther. First quarter action here. Westby's Austin Mowry plows in for a 4-yard touchdown. Norseman up first, 6-0. Luther's defense trying to answer back as Lyndon Bias gets the sack, pushing the Norseman back. But Westby able to convert. Alex Clutch throws to Noah Benish for the 19-yard TD to go up 13-0. Westby wins 46-13. They're the 2018 Cooley champions. Let's go head up to coming up, first place in the Scenic Bluffs on the line. We'll get to the Arcadia Black River Falls game as well, plus a top 5 in the state showdown in Minnesota. The Highlight Zone, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the News 8 Highlight Zone. Bangor held the state's longest active win streak at 20, but had that come to an end, losing 21-6 in Cassville last Friday night. Cardinals back in conference play facing Brookwood. Winner of this game clinches at least to share the Scenic Bluffs title. First drive for Bangor, it's Carter Horseman taking the toss left. Gets to the outside and cuts it upfield. Slips in the mud. That play would set up a Trevor Jones touchdown. Brookwood football, the toss goes outside on 4th down, but Jaden Nactigal is there to cut down the runner. Cardinals take over on downs. Second quarter, Bangor back with the football, and it's Horseman from a few yards out. He puts the Cardinals up by 12. Ensuing Brookwood drive, handoff, fumbled. Braden Horseman comes up with it, and Bangor keeps the Falcons off the scoreboard. They keep them off the scoreboard all game long. Bangor wins 12-0. Melrose Mindoro can assure themselves at least a share of the Dairyland title as they travel to Oliva Strum. First quarter, it's Melman's Brett Gertis running an impressive 79-yard touchdown run. Kicks off the scoring. It's 6-0 Mustangs. Later in the first, Mustangs score again thanks to Gertis with a receiving touchdown. It's 12-0. End of the first, Gertis at it again. Another long touchdown run. That makes the score 19-0. And nearing the half, Oliva Strum gets on the board. This time it's going to be Ryan Johnson who runs it in. Score at the half is 19-6. Melman holds on to win by a final of 26-20. Minnesota action. Defending state champion number 1 in the state, Spring Grove, hosting 5th-ranked Houston. First play of the second half for Spring Grove. Alex Foles takes the snap, keeps it himself, and gets up the sideline and is gone. 70-yard touchdown run. Spring Grove's up 27-6. Ensuing possession for Houston, James Hungerholt would keep the end around as well. He would go the distance, but a block in the back would take the points off the board. Following the Hurricanes' turnover on downs, it's Foles finding Ethan Matzke on the quick touchdown pass. Extends the Lions' lead to 29, and Spring Grove wins the Battle of Undefeateds, winning 35-14. Number 1 ranked Caledonia back at home to face Dover Iota. First quarter, Noah King drops back and lets it fly deep down the sideline. He hits Tate Miners in stride down to the 5-yard line. However, the Warriors unable to punch it in from there. They turn it over on downs. Later in the half, King going to the air again. He floats it up to Miners. This time coming down with it in the end zone. It's 7-0 Warriors at the break. They'd get a touchdown in the second half to win it 14-0. Winona puts their undefeated record on the line, hosting Mankato East. First quarter, Winona's Jason Nibbling, quick pass to Terrell Hall, and Hall turns on the Jets. Takes this one 44 yards to the house, and the Windhawks have a 13-0 lead. Later in the first, you know what it means when we show a punt return, and especially when it's Hall who's doing the returning. Takes it to the outside, will find an opening, gets a couple blocks, and he is gone. Windhawks go up by 20. Still in the first quarter, more Windhawks. Trevor Pomeroy takes the handoff, finding a huge hole. 63 yards for this score. Winona runs away with this one as they win 48-14. Cotter at home to take on Kingsland. Third quarter, Cotter looking for a 4th down stop. Austin Hicks does them one better, picks off the pass, takes it all the way down the 28-yard line. Ramblers unable, though, to turn that into points. It hurt them in the end. Later in the third, Kingsland Dallas Jones takes this 8 yards for the touchdown. Knights come back from a huge deficit. It's Kingsland winning 33-30. Black River Falls hosting Arcadia. Both of these teams needing 2 wins over the final 2 weeks to make the playoffs. First quarter, Tanner Clark throws right. He's picked off by Jerome Wirtz. BRF unable to capitalize off the turnover, however. Later in the quarter, Clark back to pass again. He's going to find Ben Teskey up the sideline for a big gain. Arcadia would end up winning this one by a final of 32-7. Well, coming up, we turn our attention to the MLB playoffs. Highlights and a post-game report from Miller Park when we return. Welcome back to the News 8 Highlight Zone. It's time for our play of the night. We go back to Winona. Windhawks. Terrell Hall will pick up the punt on the bounce and weave in and out, somehow finding his way all the way to the end zone. Number 2 in the state. Winona staying undefeated with the win this evening.